Hello, Ms. Jones. I am Mr. Dixon, and I will be interviewing you for entry-level sales position for my company, Procter& and Gamble. So let's start off with you telling me a little bit about yourself.
I'd love to introduce myself. Well, I'm Lakaya Jones, a graduating senior sales and marketing major at the illustrious Tuskegee University. I'm currently seeking a position in sales. I have a passion for sales and love building customer relationships. I'm a great communicator and I enjoy expressing new ideas to different types of people. I have a history of working with a multitude of backgrounds and enjoy overcoming our differences for the greater good of a project. Although I'm also a great team player, I enjoy working alone as well to take on difficult endeavors.
Okay, that's great. So we can piggyback off of that. Tell me about your past experience.
In the past, I worked retail as a sales associate in a major location. There, I had a high contact rate with customers and really learned how to properly customer service people at a high level. Also, in my past classes, I have experience working in sales or dealing with sales in two classes in particular, promotional strategy as well as marketing research. In promotional strategy, I was tasked with working with a group to present to 3M a social impact business plan. There, I learned how to sell my ideas not only verbally but also written down. With marketing research, I actually did marketing research for a company called Bedazzle Do. There, I had to gather data and present it to the company and recommend things based on my findings. I'm also involved in two honor societies, Alpha Kappa Mu, which is a general honor society, and Beta Gamma Sigma, which is a business honor society through the accreditation of my business school.
So now that I have gotten to know you a little bit better, we can move on to behavioral questions. Here at P&G, we like to ask types of questions to get a greater understanding of your skills and backgrounds. So answer the questions the best way you can. We're going to start off with describe a job experience in which you had to speak up to ensure that others knew what you thought or felt.
I worked as a sales associate for Forever 21 in their Times Square location, which is their second biggest location in the country. It's as big as a mall. That's how big it is. It's 4 floors. And I worked in their biggest fitting room in the store. There I learned how to deal with multiple customers and provide customer service. However, oftentimes I was there alone and I had to customer service 30 plus customers because that was the full capacity of the fitting room. And the problem arose was that I was not able to fully customer serve these people because I could not fulfill each of their needs properly. So I had to speak up to my manager and let them know, because they didn't often check on me, that I was not able to do this alone and still provide a high quality standard of customer service as they wanted me to. After I expressed this to my manager and they witnessed it, they decided to, during peak hours, to put someone in there with me so that we were able to manage the customers much better.
Okay. So have you ever handled a difficult situation with a coworker, and how?
I definitely have dealt with a difficult situation with a customer. When I worked at Forever 21 in the fitting room, I worked with a fellow employee who just did not like me. And at this particular work environment, it was very relaxed, and at us employees, we had a very personal relationship, but she just did not like me, and she would slack on her work because she didn't want to do it because I was there. And I tried talking to her, but it just didn't work. So what I found necessary to do was to keep it strictly professional and just do our work. And that made the situation much smoother because we didn't talk about anything personal. We barely communicated besides about work. And although that's not the ideal situation, it's what had to be done in order to accomplish our task at the job.
Okay, it seemed like you handled that well. Okay, describe the time on any job where you had to face stress which tested your coping skills, and what did you do?
A time where I had to deal with stress was definitely last semester. It was one of the most stressful semesters of my college career. One of the classes that I had, promotional strategy, was very difficult. we had to present every single day. And not only did we present, it was not an easy presentation because our teacher would criticize us an extreme amount. However, what I did to cope with this situation was just to prepare. The more I knew my material, the less I could be shaped by his questions. And although this class was difficult, it made me a great multitasker, a great preparer, and a great presenter, most of all.
Okay. Describe a time where a project of yours did not turn out how you intended, and how did you save it?
An example of a time where a project of mine did not turn out the way I intended was when I worked with a mentoring program called Finding Beauty in Ourselves with my honors dorm. There's a lot of mentoring programs on campus, so we had a lot of competition. So we had to figure out ways to differentiate ourselves from the other mentoring programs who had much more experience than we did in a bigger market. So what we did was we went out to the high school girls and we tried to say that, we're a mentoring program. We're not, way above your age range. We're more relatable. And we went out and we got a high response. And on the day of our first mentoring event, nobody showed up. Nobody. And we had already invested so much money and so much time into this event that we needed girls to show up. So what we did was we did not let it just fail and move on to the next event. We called and texted each person individually and offered rides so that they can come to our event. And although it took some time, eventually multiple girls showed up and our event ended up being a success.
Okay. So, can you tell me why should we hire you?
You should hire me because I'm a dedicated worker and I will dedicate so much time, energy, and all I have to give to this sales position. I have a passion for sales and I love building customer relationship to ensure a long-term successful business relationship. I'm willing to work as hard as I can and bring in the extra amount of sales. I'm able to start working as soon as you need me and I will dedicate so much to you.
Okay. That's great. That's great. Before we end, do you have any questions for me?
I just have one question. I'm curious about the process of interviewing. Like, when will I hear back from you?
You should hear back from me within maybe a month. No later than that, but you will hear back from me whether you got the position or not.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to meet you. You too.